It's fantasy football draft season. Today we're looking at a batch of players that help you get through your drafts this weekend. Before we dig in, you need to click that subscribe button right now. We're going to be looking at the waiver wire every day this year. We're going to help you set your lineups by looking at the matchups. You'll know what we're about week one because we're going to come hot and heavy. Click that button. Stop missing out. Ric Flair's watching. You do not want to disappoint Ric Flair. The first player we're talking about today is Breece Hall. There's been a lot of rumors that touches may be impacted drastically with Breece Hall. Like Braylon Allen might be stealing a lot of work. I think the Jets are going to run the ball a lot. And if I got Breece Hall, I'm getting Braylon Allen. Non-negotiable. I'm getting both of them. Non-negotiable. If I make this choice right here, I'm getting Braylon Allen. That is my lottery ticket handcuff running back. Non-negotiable. I'm making that a point. I've done that on almost every occasion. At least recently, I've done that every time. Getting Braylon Allen and Breece to killer bees just as if I were the Jets. If I'm worried about that, you're in good hands in this area of the draft. You got Kyren Williams and Marvin Hampton. You got good running backs here and wide receivers to pivot to. So it ain't no big deal if you want to pivot. It ain't no big deal at all. Still a talented running back. Still got 4.3 speed. Still can catch the ball out of the backfield. Guy's juiced up in a situation where he's going to get a lot of work. Egbuka, starting off the season. Him and Mike Evans, road dogging it. Chris Godwin, trying to get back sooner than later. He's going to get his opportunity to succeed early, to prove himself early. Egbuka is a guy to pay attention to. He's a guy in the middle rounds here, around a lot of ambiguous wide receivers like a Matthew Golden, some of these upside plays like Ricky Pearsall. Ricky Pearsall's been jumping up some rounds, but still, he's in this area where you're looking at ambiguous wide receivers. You're looking at the last of a few veteran wide receivers that could give you some stability. But if you're shooting for upside here to start the season off, Egbuka could do that for you. But Javonte Williams, this team ain't going to be running the ball much. Micah Parsons gone. He's gone. Can they use Williams in the passing game? Because they're going to be throwing it. They're going to be giving up points. There could be some saving grace if some of the rookies on the defense, a la Donnie E, steps up and get you some sort of production on defense, some stalts in the games. I'm not saying backfilling Micah Parsons' production. That ain't ever going to happen on this roster. If you can get some stops on D throughout some of these games, that could help keep this run game alive. But they might be playing from behind or in some shootouts. I look for Dak to be throwing the ball. Can Javonte be used in the passing game enough to be fantasy relevant? That might help him out a little bit. That might help him out if he can get those checkdowns. But we'll talk about this more later as we're looking at Jordan Addison. Suspended for 3 games. Adam Thielen's now in with the team. Is this going to get messy? Is Thielen going to start siphoning away some targets? When he was with the Vikings last time, top 5 in the league in red zone targets. Now you're looking at Jordan Addison being out 3 games. He has a good rapport with J.J. McCarthy, former first-round pick. Justin Jefferson's easily going to be at a 25 to 30% target share. You're looking at this team, you got to start scratching your head now. I wasn't too worried about Jordan Addison, but now that I'm thinking about it, I want that price reduced. If I'm around 9th round or so, I'm cool. I'll allow somebody to pay up for him, but if I can catch him at a reduced cost in my home league draft this weekend, I'm definitely going to do it. He has a good rapport with J.J. McCarthy. This offense is fast-paced. He could be good still with Adam Thielen there. Jalen Warren's the RB1 for the Steelers right now to start the season, as in starter touches, as in the first running back to touch the ball in the game. Caleb Johnson's lurking in the wings. Kenneth Gainwell's going to be a thorn in everybody's side, whoever's getting Jalen Warren or Caleb Johnson. And Arthur Smith is going to put us all in the shadow realm throughout the season. That is something to note. Jalen Warren will get starter touches, but that does not mean he'll be really great for fantasy football. He will have some great moments. And now you're watching Caleb Johnson, and you're waiting for his time to take over the backfield. It could be too late for your fantasy football season for when he does, but I do expect him to hammer out a lot of touches for this team once he's acclimated. That could be a bit. That could be week 10. That could be week 15. That could be down the line. Very talented running back prospect. One of the most talented running backs in this draft class. But you got Arthur Smith. who had headache games with Bijan Robinson, who confused us with Bijan Robinson. He's also got Kent Gainwell to contend with. You got Jalen Warren here. He's going to get starter touches, but also he's going to be part of the draft where you might as well just shoot for more upside. Stefon Diggs, one of the last veteran wide receivers we're really looking at in drafts to get dependable production. And if I need it, I need it. If I don't, I'm not drafting. What I mean here is if I went hard at wide receiver to start my draft, I'm looking at some of these running backs, and I might start going lottery ticket running backs, but I'll probably go with a veteran in this area and then start hammering lottery ticket running backs early because I hammered out wide receiver early, and I got to get right at running back. So if I feel like I'm okay at wide receiver, I need a little bit more gusto in the veteran wide receiver area, I'm going Stefon Diggs. However, if I'm good at wide receiver, I hammered that out and start my draft, I am going running back hard in these middle rounds, and then I'm also going double hard on the lottery ticket running backs. Devon Achane, I'm not worried about him. On top of that, if I get him, I'm getting Ollie Gordon. I'm just doing that. And I may be starting both running backs, game in and game out, somewhere down the line. If I'm getting Achane, I'm getting Ollie Gordon. It's by default. Like, I'll move him up around because I'm just drafting lottery ticket running backs anyways. Why do I care about ADP? I'll just get the next lottery ticket running back after him the next round. That's what I'm doing here. If I'm getting Etienne, I'm getting Ollie Gordon. End of discussion. Trevon Henderson, upside player. I would not be surprised back in the season, middle of the season, start of the season, he's an RB1. He's an RB1. He's a top flight running back. I'm not going to be surprised if he finishes the year strong, one of the top running backs in the National Football League. One thing to think about strategy here, I want to make sure I'm starting off strong at running back. So when it comes time to get Hendo, it ain't going to hurt me if he has a ramp up. That's going to be part of my strategy. If I'm not strong when I get Hendo, I'm coming back and getting the James Connors, the Chuba Hubbards, those veteran running backs there, that not so sexy, those RB2s, just in case there's a ramp up with Hendo. So I'm probably going to go stud running back, wide receiver, Hendo, maybe another wide receiver, maybe a Chuba or something like that, maybe a DeAndre Swift, maybe a Dave Montgomery, maybe a James Conner, depending on how the board shakes out. But I'll make sure I got that insurance policy, that RB2 there, just in case there's like a 3-game, 4-game ramp up. But Trey Benson, non-negotiable. If I'm drafting James Conner, I'm getting Trey Benson. And he's one of my favorite lottery ticket running backs. If Conner goes down, he's a top flight running back, 4.3 speed, drafting 3rd round, has shown in a very, very small sample that he can be productive. Him, Ray Davis, some of the top running backs in this range when you're looking at backup running backs. Trey Benson is a guy I'm targeting. Adam Thielen, he's a late round veteran wide receiver. And if you're built like this, running back to start your draft, and then you went mid-round wide receiver, and you're like, I don't like this, I hate this, and now you're in the double-digit rounds, and you're looking for some sort of stability or another wide receiver to help you play the matchups with, I'm going Adam Thielen. You know you're getting 3 games to start the season as a starting wide receiver who could soak up some targets. He's going to get red zone work. He's going to get those opportunities. He's always have. That's the part of his game that this team definitely likes. Carolina Panthers liked it. All quarterbacks like that. He's not going to be your starting wide receiver. He's going to be mixed in if you're playing matchups. If you're built like running back, wide receiver, and you're pretty good at both, or you're really good at wide receiver to start off your draft, at this point of the draft, you're going lottery tickets. You're going with those rookie wide receivers, or you're going with those upside rookie running backs, those year 2 running backs that could explode when given the opportunity. Isaac TeSlaa is one of those rookie wide receivers we're looking at in the double-digit rounds. He's been killing it with Detroit in the preseason. 4.4 speed at 6'4". You look at the depth chart here. Amon-Ra, Jameson Williams, Sam Laporta, Gibbs. Not many targets to go around. So that's going to be scary when it comes to setting lineups because you're not going to get that game-to-game stability, at least at the start of the year. But one thing you can definitely get out of this guy is you know the depth of target is going to be deep. As in, he's going to see a double-digit ADOT, deep targets downfield, and that's going to fuel fantasy production. That's going to be great for best ball. If you're still best ball drafting, TeSlaa is a prime target. If you're playing daily fantasy football, prime target in those prime matchups, and Detroit will be in a lot of them. If you're looking for somebody to pick up off the waiver wire, to close your eyes, throw in your lineup, to hope that they can snag a deep ball downfield, TeSlaa is a wide receiver to look at. That's how you strategize with TeSlaa. And if something happens to Amon-Ra or Jameson Williams, TeSlaa is going to ramp it up. Matthew Golden could be our sneaky play. He is the wide receiver who's been cooking it in training camp that nobody's really talking about. Like, there's no big-time buzz. And I think people are scared of the size of this kid. The college production was kind of weird with him because he was playing through injuries throughout his career. But the thing about Matthew Golden, 4.2 speed, killing it in camp. He did have some drops. If you look at the clips, I got all the clips on here. You just go check that out. But the thing about that, he has been standing out among those wide receivers. Reed's been in a boot. He's coming back, though. But when you look at those wide receivers, they're not first-round caliber. And they want a guy that can stretch the field. But he's more than that. He can kill it in the short game, the middle game, and the deep ball game. Matthew Golden, I would not be surprised if he becomes our surprise wide receiver from this batch of wide receivers in the middle rounds. Travis Etienne, he's in the back end of the dead zone. There's no real dead zone this year because it's so deep at running back. But it's the area of the draft in the middle rounds where you're looking at that RB2 range. But he's an RB1 for this team when it comes to starter snaps, touches, and workload. If we revert back to 2023 and his Liam Cohen offense, we could have something here. And you got him cheap. You could go running back, slam wide receivers, maybe go Travis Etienne, get another veteran, slam lottery ticket running backs. And if Etienne hits, you're probably going to dominate a lot of matchups and dominate your league. If Etienne hits, your starter hits, and you're jacked up at wide receiver, you're probably going to dominate your league if that happens. I'm not going to say it is going to happen, but if you can get a build of that magnitude and that back-end running back hits for you, that could be a nasty team. So by proxy, look at the running backs in this area. Maybe like a Zach Charbonnet if something happens to Kenneth Walker. Tyrone Tracy if he takes a step up. You're looking at some of the rookies after this as lottery ticket dart throws. If you can get a build of that magnitude, that could help you out. Kyren Williams is Kyren Williams. He's going to get some touches. There was talk again that Blake Corum's going to get touches, siphon some of the work away. That talk has always been there. It's just always been there. Nothing's changing unless something changes. And it could happen. And if it does happen, it's going to be to the degree that you're barely going to notice it. He's still going to get a lot of work. Sean McVay likes him. They would not have extended him if they were thinking about mixing it up that much. So much to where he's like not getting enough production to be valuable to us in fantasy and not enough to get over the hump for the team. They got other running backs there, him, Hunter, Corum. But still, he's going to get a lot of work. He's safe right now. His ADP bumped up after the signing too. He was going in the 4th round prior to that. His ADP bumped up. He's a valuable running back. He's going to be steady. T-Mac went up with the Adam Thielen trade. It's just those targets are going to go his way early now. He's going to get a 20+% target share. Also, this is the ownership, leadership of this team saying, hey, we're good with what we got. We like Jalen Coker. I like Jalen Coker too. Xavier Legette. But also T-Mac creating that stability, that top-end piece. He's going to get a 25-ish% target share in this offense. His ADOT's probably cooking around 12. Getting a lot of red zone targets. Those opportunities. T-Mac's going to get targeted when he shouldn't be targeted. I think he's going to be a good play where he's going at in drafts. Tyler Warren is your dependable tight end. When it comes to tight end, there's some good plays around this area. Evan Ingram, David Njoku that I like. But after that, you want to shoot for upside. And at that price, tight end 9-ish in your draft, he's got a lot of upside. Now with Daniel Jones there, he could pepper him. He could be going crazy to Tyler Warren. He's super dependable. He could be lights out. And the thing about the tight end spot, it's very volatile. It's very up and down from week to week. Unless you're getting one of those top tight ends. And it's just one or two of them every year. Brock Bowers or whoever else. I think Kettle's going to have a good year. Trey McBride. But we're looking at Tyler Warren here. He could be our next big-time tight end when it comes to productivity. Touches out of the backfield. Those short touches, inline, outline, slot, whatever. Tyler Warren's going to get a lot of work. I think Daniel Jones is going to really fuel his fantasy production. Keandre Lambert-Smith is an upside play, another upside wide receiver. Outside of the scope, really, a 16-round drafts or 12-teamers. But a wide receiver you need to pay attention to. 4.3 speed, 6'1". He's going to be a deep ball magnet and could be a splash play and could be a wide receiver that gets touches and more opportunities later on down the road. And I'm looking at Marvin Harrison Jr. taking a step forward this year. He looks like it when it comes to body composition. He's looking like that at the catch point. Can Murray take a step forward? That is the question here. That's what you're gambling on. A 22.2% target share as a rookie. That's good. ADOT 13.5. Deep targets are harder to bring in. But if we can get a little bit more accurate, or maybe not sling it as deep as often, maybe Marvin Harrison Jr. can be more consistent. Brashard Smith's one of my favorite lottery ticket running backs, especially with Rashee Rice being suspended for 6 games. We might see him get some workload early. He's been working with the ones, especially in preseason games. He could be used as a wide receiver, be used as a running back out of the backfield. Could be a sneaky play, but the question is, we have a lot of them this year. We have a ton of them this year. That is what we're looking at here in drafts. Jaden Blue's another one. Michael Parsons gone. They're going to have to throw the ball more. They're not going to get many stops on defense. They're not going to be able to pin their ears, run the ball at the gut. They're going to have to throw the ball more. They're going to have to start utilizing these running backs in different ways now. He's got 4.3 speed. He's electric. He's dealing with an injury. But we weren't expecting him to be getting starter touches week 1 anyways. Jaden Blue's in a situation where he could be seeing more work than advertised, especially in the passing game, and especially in PPR with that speed and what we're seeing here in this ambiguous backfield. This is a running back that could hit for you. If you're looking for an upside wide receiver, Keon Coleman week to week could be very splashy. I think he's great for best ball. I think he's going to be a fun play for DFS this year. I think he's going to be a wide receiver that makes you pull your hair out because we're going to see Josh Palmer get some opportunities. We're going to see Shakir out there. Elijah Moore's going to get some work as well. He's a good wide receiver. Maybe not always great for fantasy football. But I think you're going to get 3 to 5 wide receiver 1 games, 20 plus PPR fantasy points in those games, but also a lot of wide receiver 3 plus games under 10 PPR fantasy points because he's going to be getting deep targets downfield. 15.2 average depth of target last year. The target share may not be up there. We want to see the targets jump up to 5 plus at least per game. 4.4 last year. Can we get that high? If we can get past 5, 6, 7 range, he might cook. He might cook. He could be a top wide receiver. If we can get consistent volume, you will get consistent production. I'm expecting him to be around that 5, 6 range in targets. ADOT around 13 to 15. I'm expecting 3 to 5 wide receiver 1 weeks. A slew of wide receiver 2 weeks, and a bunch of games, 9 points or less. You might hate that, you might love it, but he's also a guy, standard leagues, 16 rounds, that off your bench, you can close your eyes, throw him in your lineup, pray to the fantasy gods that he brings in the deep ball that game. And it's a 50-50 shot because half the time he's valuable in fantasy football, half the time he's busted. But that's probably going to be the Keon Coleman story here for 2025. Let me know what you think about these players in the comments below. I want to hear about that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. Good luck on your drafts this weekend. I want to thank you for watching. Catch you on the next video.